Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nique Chats, my magic and mostly mentalism review show. My name is Nique, and on today's episode, I'll be chatting with you guys about PEP, the Parkin Email Premonition by Thom Parkin. So hi again guys, welcome back to the channel, and as always, thanks for showing up, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for spending some time with me today. So in today's episode, I'll be chatting with you guys about a piece of tech magic. Alright, tech magic. This is for the PEP, alright, or the Parkin Email Premonition from Thom Parkin. So today's episode is going to be like, I think, the first time I review something or I chat about something that I don't fully understand. Because you see, the PEP has got kind of like two parts to it, alright? So one of the parts I kind of get, okay, I kind of understand. The other part, however, I don't get, alright? And it's because I suppose I choose not to, you know, because I just don't favor it. You understand a little bit better as I get to why and I explain further. So the Parkin Email Premonition system, alright, is put out by Thom Parkin. Okay, so Thom is a subscriber to my channel. Thank you, Thom. And Thom is actually a programmer by profession, and you know, he's also a magician. And I have actually previously reviewed two of his products, you know, on my channel before. The first one was the Instant Card Magician, alright, it's an online card trick. Also the trainer decks, alright, so 2 decks of cards that he's released to help you actually get into memorized deck work. So he has been really kind, you know, in sharing with me his creations, alright, and this PEP, alright, is one of them. So if you have been watching my channel for any amount of time, and if you've been following, you know, material that I kind of like to perform, you will know that I'm kind of not so tech savvy, you know, and the kind of material that I perform tends to fall in, you know, the area of like classic methods, right? Low tech methods. Now, when I say that, I mean, you know, professionally, okay? You know, for casual performances, you know, in my day-to-day life, I still do perform, you know, for friends and family, you know, with apps and things like that. But, you know, when it comes down to it, right, paid professional shows, I tend to really just depend on low tech methods and approaches, you know, because I think, well, I guess I'd like to know that, you know, if anything goes wrong, I only have myself to blame, all right? And it's not because of some battery that didn't work, or some connection that didn't get connected, or some internet signal that didn't go through, you know, that kind of a thing. So let's quickly get into the PEP, all right, the Parkin Email Premonition system, okay? So that you understand exactly what the effect is all about. So here's a kind of like a sample description of what is possible with PEP. Okay, so you're performing for a friend. So using your mobile device, you queue up a screen to type an email to them. You could have them type in the email themselves, all right, in the email field, and then, you know, in the subject and in the message column, you then can kind of fill it in yourself. So apparently you're kind of typing an email to them. The email is then sent. Your spectator, all right, your participant doesn't open the email. All he has to do is to now verify that the email did come in. Okay, so on his mobile device, there will be a notification saying that, you know, yes, there is an email that just came in from Nique. So once he verifies that there's an email there, you now perform whatever effect you want to. Okay, you can have them, I don't know, name a country, you could name a playing card, then they could think of the name of a friend, a date of the year, perhaps. So let's say, you know, you have them think of the name of a friend, all right, and their date of birth as well. What happens now is you have them open up the email that you sent them previously. When they do, they will see that there is a photograph attached to it, okay? On the photograph, it is a photograph of a birthday cake, okay? And on the cake is written the name of the friend they just thought of, as well as the date of birth. Now, bear in mind, it is really difficult to describe to you the exact effect that is possible with PEP, okay? Because there's just so many things that you can do with this. So what I've just described to you is really just a sample of what is possible, and the possibilities are even more if you use, and this gets to the part which I was going to talk about earlier, if you use inject. If you do use inject, then the possibilities are even greater. Okay, now I don't fully understand the inject portion, all right, because, well, I do have Inject, okay, I am an Inject user, I suppose, but I found Inject kind of too complicated to use. And I have mentioned this on previous review episodes as well, that because Inject kind of does like everything, I ended up not using it for anything. And even if I were to use Inject for like just one feature, one or two of its features, I always have that nagging feeling that I'm underutilizing it, well, so yeah, I really ended up not using Inject at all. So when it comes to PEP, the possibilities are really greater, all right, with Inject. Okay, you can perform many of the Inject predictions with PEP, except that the predictions will be sent to your spectators' email, as I just described. So me not having the expertise in Inject, all right, I won't talk about the Inject part, okay? I will just focus on the other part, okay? Because you see, PEP was originally kind of designed as a plug-in, I suppose, with Inject. But it grew kind of like by itself, to the point where it's almost like a separate thing altogether. So to use PEP, what happens is, you'll have a page where you can select whether you will be using Inject or not, okay? And for me, well, I'm definitely not using Inject, okay? So there's a section called the Dynamic Effects section, okay? And I've just described one of the possibilities to you, right? Where you can email a photograph of a birthday cake. But in actual fact, there are like, I don't know, over 40 reveals that you can do with the Dynamic Effects segment, all right, in PEP. There's like, I don't know, there's a banner that, an airplane is pulling along, and you can have any text appear there. You can have the numbers appear on a photograph of a car, right, the license plate. You could have a prediction appear on a fortune cookie. The possibilities are just so many, and when you look through all of the photographs, there are just so many like options for you presentationally as well to perform a routine. So for example, one more that just came to my mind is there is a picture of a gravestone, okay, and you can have certain text appear on the gravestone as well. So that would probably come in quite useful for your Halloween shows. But that is what the effect is, all right? You send your participant an email, all right? They just check that they've got it. They don't open it yet. You perform something, and then they can open it up later on and see that you had already predicted what they were going to think of. So I'm going to talk to you guys right now about the input method for PEP, all right? So to use a term that I learned from Inject, okay, you still have to thump the values, all right, that you wish to appear in the prediction to the email, all right? I'm not sure if that's how it works here, but that's my understanding of it. And to do that, it's really simple. There is a kind of a web page as well that you can use for that. Now, this web page, you can kind of do the input yourself, on the fly. If you can work in a reason for you to be using your phone during that time. But I think the strength of this, the PEP, comes in when you use an accomplice, someone to help you do the input for you, all right? So that everything appears really completely hands-off, and the effect is then really, really clean. This input page can already be on your accomplice's mobile device even before you start performing the routine. So this would work really well, for example, in a stage performance. Okay, so you can be on stage and you can be kind of sending an email to one participant in the audience. In the meantime, your accomplice can be elsewhere, backstage, or somewhere in the audience with that input page ready to thump the correct values. So yeah, while you can do the input yourself, I really think it's much stronger, all right, to use an accomplice to accomplish the effect. So PEP is a web-based kind of app, all right? So you do need internet connection for this to work. So I've just described the basic features that PEP offers you, but there is a kind of a pro upgrade, a pro package of sorts that will offer you even more features to use in PEP. So one of the really exciting kind of features that Thom shared with me is that you will have the ability to generate a QR code. All right, so imagine this, in a stage performance, you could have a QR code that is available just before people come in. They enter the theater. You could have a big board over there with the QR code, telling people that, if you wish to participate in a segment of the show, scan this QR code. So when the audience members scan the QR code, they'll be asked to input their email addresses. And of course, on that page as well, there'll be a disclaimer about, how their email address will not be used in bad ways. So when it comes time to send out your email prediction, you not only send it to one person, but actually you send it out to every single person in the audience who chose to participate in this segment. So during that routine, you could have everyone in the audience just kind of check and verify that they have received an email from you. They are told not to open it yet, and you'll get to that part later on. So you now perform whatever you like, and then at the end of the show, you could have them now all together open the email, check the email, and they will see a photograph of sorts predicting, stuff that has happened during the show. So that's just one of the features that the Pro kind of package enables you to select, all right, this feature. But on top of that, there are also just so many other reveals, all right, and ways to perform with PEP, which would really, I think, get your creative juices going. So let's talk about the cost for PEP. Okay, so PEP is not going to be just a one-time payment kind of a thing. Okay, it's a subscription-based service. So it's priced at $119, I believe, per year. Okay, some of you out there might be kind of against this kind of ongoing kind of a billing, but you do need to understand, all right, that Thom is not selling you an app, all right, that lives in your phone. He's selling you a web-based thing, okay? And on top of, other development fees, there are also things like, he pays for other things as well on a monthly basis, all right? So things like email, database, routing, image hosting, and all these things on his end, it's built monthly as well to him, all right, just for keeping this thing going. So that's exactly why, all right, this is actually more feasible for him if it is a subscription-based service. But it's $119 per year, all right? So if you do break it down per month, it's like almost $10 a month, all right? So if you do perform this effect often enough, all right, it's really nothing, I think. All right, so that's all I have to say about the Parkin email premonition. I probably have not really described it in too much detail, all right, because, well, as I mentioned, right, I'm not really a tech person, all right, but I can just kind of tell you guys what my understanding of it is, all right, the basic kind of features that this system offers you. So if you do, use tech magic a lot, and especially if you use Inject, okay, if you're an avid user of Inject, you use it quite a lot, then this is, I think, a worthy add-on for you, all right, because I think it opens up this ability to do email predictions. So if you would like to sign up for the PEP, all right, I will leave the link in the description box down below. Thank you so much to Thom Parkin, all right, for letting me have a look at this so that I can chat about it with you guys on this show. And well, I apologize, Thom, if I'm unable to kind of describe everything perfectly, all right, due to the kind of magic that I enjoy doing, all right? This is really not my kind of field of expertise, but I do hope that, I've helped to kind of spread the word out in a way, all right, in my own small way about your really incredible product. So that's all for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, enjoy your magic and your mentalism, and I will see you on a future episode of Nique Chats.